Thank you. Are we live? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to season 7 of the Magenta show. And with me today, I've got the incredibly beautiful, kind, and generous Fatima Omar. Fatima, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Moira. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Such a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so if you have written a book, thinking of writing a book, and if you, well, for example, if you've written a book and nothing's happened to it, you're going to want to tune into today's show because Fatima had the same problem and solved the problem, and in the end has become very successful and financially very well established because she figured out how to change it. So we're going to be talking about that today, Fatima.
Definitely.
We've got, as you saw in the promos for the show, we've got incredible prize to give away today. And I believe you got another surprise one too.
I do. I have some surprises that I didn't tell Moira about. So it's very exciting. Yes?
Yes. So you want to stay tuned. And please remember today, if you've drawn to number 1, number 2, or number 3, which one is your color bottle pick for the week. And right at the end of the show, we're going to give the audience a little message.
How fun.
Fun. Okay, so we have a TV screen that we can also see. So we're just going to see who has joined us. Anne says hello. Aurelia, wonderful. There's some of our regulars.
Hey, Jenny. Mwah. Hi, guys. So nice to be here on the beginning of season 7.
Yeah, you're opening the season, girl. And Catherine Jujak says, good morning. So nice that you're back for another season. My gosh, you are gorgeous. Yes, she is, Catherine. She glows. She's got this beautiful dusty pink on today. I think if you love
all our... It's a pink day.
Yes.
Look at us.
You guys have got to give us a lot of pink hearts today if you love what we're talking about.
Click the hearts. We love pink.
Okay, so you might not pick up on the accent, but Fatima and I have something in common. It's like we're both born in South Africa.
We are.
Yeah.
That's right. We're African through and through.
Yeah. So we have a slightly South African accent. Mine is now a little bit more rounded in English. I'm not quite so Afrikaans as I used to be.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Shout out to all my South African peeps and family, and just thank you so much for watching. Okay, so please remember, if you are thinking of writing a book, if you have written a book and it's not doing well, and you want to also pick number 1, 2, and 3, and that's going to be our show today. The grand prize is worth $2,500. We've never had such a big prize, and your generosity is amazing. And I love how you're wearing pink, because pink is the color of generosity, giving, feminine power.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't feminine power, this whole sacred, divine feminine power, a subject of our time?
Honestly, it is, because, what I found is a lot of my clients, they've used a model that is so testosterone based, and it's a dog-eat-dog world. And honestly, Moira, it doesn't work for us because we're moms, we create, we have uteruses, and we want to go out there. So when we disconnect from creation in our heart, we get overwhelmed, we get adrenal fatigue, we crash, we burn out, and we never actually attract the right kind of clients. Yeah. When we start connecting with our gut, our heart, our uterus, it's like something magical happens where we get that softness, and that's where our power is.
I love it, because when I teach color psychology, I always talk about the sacral chakra, which is that area where the uterus sits.
Yes.
And I just last week I did a workshop where we were checking the health of some of my mentoring groups chakra systems, and anybody that had their chakra center closed, I gave them very specific instructions: open it up, because if your sacral chakra is closed down, that part of your body is closed down, you're not going to create, you're not going to make money, you're not going to be happy.
It's like cement.
Yeah, it's so important to.
We want to be in the flow. We want to be in that creation fluid, like liquid. And that's where abundance comes from. So it's like, take your foot off the hose and bring in the money.
I love it. Take your foot off the hose. Oh, look at the lovely, wonderful. Look at the pink hearts that are coming in. That's amazing.
Thank you, guys. I love the hearts.
I've got to tell you, Hayden Crawford is just tuning in. He's just given us all those rainbows.
Hi, Hayden.
Hayden, I taught Hayden the color mirror psychology over Skype. He's in Australia.
He's
just in the process of going to South Africa. Hayden, you've got to tell me if you're there already. Just in the process to actually meet Melissa, the founder of Color Mirrors, in person. Beautiful. And become a teacher, and he's going to just go and blast the whole of Australia with color rainbows.
We're changing
so proud of
the
you.
world,
Changing
one
the world.
heart at a time.
Yeah. And Hayden's case, many rainbows as well.
I love it. I love
Fabulous. And Joanne's joined us. Hello. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And if you have just joined us, please remember today is a very important interview. Not only is this the season 7 opener with our beautiful guest, Fatima Omar, we are also going to talk about if you are thinking of writing a book or you've written a book and it's not selling, your message isn't getting out to the world, you're not earning money from it, there are some solutions to those problems, and Fatima has actually figured out how to do it. So you want to get that advice from her. And also remember, if you're drawn to 1, 2, or 3, and let's get season 7 off to a lovely, colorful start. All right, so right in the beginning, you asked me why is it called the Magenta Show, and we had a little chat pre-show, and just for anybody who is new to the Magenta Show, we explained that the red is about the base chakra. It's about money,
Grounding,
survival,
ambition, money,
making money, profits,
drive,
and violet is related to the crown.
Chakra.
Yeah,
serving.
Being on purpose and feeling you want to help humanity, feeling you want to make a difference. Yes. And in the entrepreneurs that we coach and work with, they are in the one world or the other world. They're either very stuck on just making money and making business plans, or they're on the other side where they're just serving but they're not earning, they can't charge.
Yeah.
So the Magenta Show is bringing the two colors together. So when you mix the two colors together like that, it makes the color magenta.
Yeah.
So in essence, magenta bridges and brings the material and the spiritual together. It brings that survival, I have to make money to pay my bills, and it brings that need to serve and make a difference on the planet.
So magenta is like servant leadership.
Completely.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're serving, making
But
a difference,
making money.
social entrepreneur, making a ton of money. Because we want our bank accounts to look like a very long distance phone number. Right, guys? Okay? So that's what, because when you have money, you can make a difference for everyone. Did you like that, Moira?
I loved it, because we can't make a difference if you're just spiritual. You have to charge for your services. You got to get it right. Yeah. And that's why this is called why it's called the Magenta Show.
Love
because the idea is to bridge, and that's why we have heart-centered entrepreneurs here who don't just want to serve, but they want to make a difference, and they know they have to earn money to do it. You've got to have money to make a difference.
You know, your whole the way you bring the colors together, it kind of reminds me of, you know, we are leaving the data age, the technology age. There's all this cryptocurrency and cybersecurity and all of that stuff happening, and we're actually on a bridge right now because we're entering the spiritual realm, the spiritual era. And right now, it's a bridge. How do you bring, say, online courses and the things that we're doing to make money online, and bring in the oneness conversation? Who you are, who I am, the humanity, how we are in connection. So this is actually so timely that we go into the spiritual era with this happening, and we bring in love to our businesses. You know, heart-centered entrepreneurship, soulful creation, and making a difference at the same time.
And I think that if you're going to create an online course that is for this new Magenta era, it's you normally an online course in business will be, right, get your notepad ready and you want to make notes, and this is how you do X, Y, Z. It's very transactional, and you've got to bring that transformational aspect in. This is, right, before we start any work, I want you to put some soft music on, or listen to this meditation, or I want you to
close your eyes and just
close
connect.
your eyes and connect, and then let's get into your lesson. So that's how to me that is certainly how the online my online academy is evolving that way, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's exactly doing that.
Yeah.
All right, great. So what we want to talk about is, first of all, that you have written several books. So really what we want to help our audience with today is to not to give up. This is a very big message that you said you wanted to get out to the audience. Don't give up, because that was your story. So I think I'd like the audience just to get to know your story a little bit, and where you're from, and how did this evolve that you now help other people with their failing, flailing, or non-existent book writing.
Yes.
And how to make money from it, because everyone tells you never make money from a book, which is true. It's about the process around it.
Yes.
But I would just please, if you could just share with us and tell me a bit about your story. I know a little bit about you because we've had a few conversations.
We have. But in a nutshell, you know, just so the audience knows me, it's my 10th anniversary. And 10 years ago, I put 5 kids in a car. One child has a disability. My son Tarek has cerebral palsy, spastic quadriplegic. And I just got tired of the violence And I had actually waited for my parents to die because for them it would be too much shame, and the timing wasn't right. And it didn't happen in Afghanistan or Pakistan, or where people usually ask me, where did this happen? It happened right here in Ontario. I lived in a multi-million-dollar home in Aurora. Very affluent family I was married into, and I just had it. I had woken up one day, Moira, and said, I wanted to teach my children what healthy looked like and what peace looked like.
Wow.
And I didn't actually have that epiphany until that moment when I said, was I being responsible?
Yeah.
Even as a victim, if you can, a lot of people shun from that label, but even as a victim of violence, was I being responsible? And it was only on that day where I went, I'm not. I can actually change the situation. And even though my parents had passed away and all my siblings were in South Africa, I was in Canada, I did it without a credit card, no bank account, no credit rating. I did it. I just put them in a car and I said, it's me and God. And I wrote a book called Fearless Faith.
Wow.
Because of that. It was just me and him. And I said, God, if you're on my side and if I just have you and no plan, I'm going to be okay. And surrender completely, trusting.
Hashtag surrender. It was the subject of last week's course. For those of you on the course, you know it was very, very important. Hashtag surrender.
Yeah.
If you want to change your life, if you want to have that moment in your life where you just tip it all upside down and you have a new beginning, hashtag surrender. I love it.
And you can't ask for something and not take action. Because here's another hashtag. Prayer alone is not a plan. Because I prayed, Moira. I prayed a lot. But nothing happened.
Yeah, you had to get in the car to move.
Load up the kids
to go.
And the wheelchair and all the stuff and get out.
Yeah.
And then the net will arrive.
Yes.
Because prayer, I wasn't jumping.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually saying to God, I'm trusting.
Yeah.
I was just going, God, change my life. What did I, but it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, and I often tell my kids this and my clients, I go, God might give you the resources and to send you the chicken, but he's not going to come and feather it and put it in your pot and put your spices in and cook it. It's just not. We have to take that action.
And I mean, you, with your Muslim faith and with your high standing in the community you had at the time through the marriage, you shut your door on so many things and you took your faith, that's what you took with you, and you started again with your 5 children. And I know you had to have welfare and you really started with nothing.
$535 check every month.
Yeah. And you
I saved my stubs.
Yeah.
I saved my stub because I wanted to know what was that bottom. What was I growing from?
So what was bottom the moment you decided to leave, or did bottom come a little bit later? Or did you have a few bottoms?
Oh no, the few bottoms come after you jump.
Yes.
Because the universe wants to test you. Are you serious?
So are you going to stick to
Are
this?
Are you going to stick to it?
Commit, yes.
90% of women actually go back into violent abusive relationships.
Yes.
And the violence always escalates because now you've actually shown the perpetrator.
They have
the upper hand.
Yeah, and you're saying you're re-establishing the depth of the victim.
That's right. You change the paradigm. And so to be able to stand your ground and to say, it's do or die here, and I'm never going back. It's only forward. Burn your ships and just go forward.
Wow.
Right? But lots of things happened.
Yeah.
I fell down. I failed. I was diagnosed with adrenal burnout. I crashed. I burned. And there was so much fear that was associated with that. Yeah. The fear of the unknown, the fear of money, the fear of my kids surviving. And there's very few people who actually know this, Moira. But I actually created a plan that I was going to kill my kids and myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't see. My future was so dark. Yeah. I couldn't see what was coming for tomorrow.
That is that spiritual, dark, deep night of the soul where we contemplate our existence and does it have value?
Yeah.
What got you out of that? But what was the thing that said, I have value and my children have value and we're going to carry on?
It was more my children than me. It took me a while to change my neural pathways because after 21 years of systematic violence, a woman doesn't actually believe in herself. Yeah. And I just woke up and said, is it fair for me to do this to my children, or do they deserve a future? Or am I shutting a light on something that could be greatness? They could be the leaders.
Yeah.
I could.
So you took it out from me to the we, to think, yeah. And I think, and sweethearts, if any of you are feeling in that deep dark pit of despair, please take some hope from this, because when we're there, it is a me situation, because we feel we're the ones that have failed. But you could be there to light the path for somebody else. So don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Keep
going. I changed my why. I decided at that time, my why was going to be, I wanted my kids to see me as more than just a woman who experienced violence. That's it. That was the only thing. It was a small why at the time.
Yeah.
And just say, I want to show them that I'm more than...
you changed it to looking for a legacy.
Yeah.
Something that was different for your children to have.
That's it.
That's a wonderful way to...
Yeah. Break,
Love it.
Crush the patterns, change the patterns, and give them a new model.
Oh, it's hot in here. The energy here is just amazing. All right, so you then wrote a book about your story.
I did.
And was it a successful book?
No. I wrote 3 books, not just one.
So you go through all this shit.
Yep.
You write a book about it.
Yep.
3 books.
Yep.
And nothing happened.
I wrote What is Verbal Abuse? I wrote Fearless Faith. I got invited to a couple of different places, and then I wrote 50 Ways to Brand Yourself Online for free, because people wanted to know how I did it.
Cool.
But nothing happened.
All right. So if this is your story, if you have had these incredible, deep life experiences and transformation, you've written books about it, but it hasn't made the impact that you wanted it to do. It didn't change the world the way you wanted it. It didn't create the legacy for you. You need to stay tuned, because Fatima is going to explain to us, how do you turn that around? How do you go from, because in a way, if you're not making money and if you're not changing lives, if your message isn't getting out to people, and you've been through this incredible deep dark night of the soul, then it really was, what was it for? If you can't actually use it to elevate humanity in some way, what's the point?
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, I hired a bunch of guys, really smart guys, to say, what am I doing wrong? Just that. I started researching, going, I might not have a lot of money, but I definitely have time.
Yeah.
And I want to figure this out, because my goal at that time was to say, how do I get myself off welfare now?
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. How do I build a site? How do I do this? How do I do that? Because I had no business experience, but I knew that I was here to make a difference. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that I wasn't going to die without successfully figure this out. I just wasn't.
So 3 books was not a success. Just having written it, it was about a deeper success.
I always say, I might not be the smartest, I might not be the prettiest, but dang, I've got the energy to go the long haul.
So what's the energy?
Okay, I am going to finish this game.
Yeah.
And so I just sat down and started looking at, how does this work? I had a bunch of guys, I traveled to Texas, I worked with them, and I spent 18 months understanding how the publishing house works. How does the major houses work? How does online work? What does Amazon do? What are these things called algorithms? That's the first time I heard of it. What is this key thing to make this thing happen? Mm-hmm. And do I have to buy 20,000 books and stick it in my garage? Well, guess what? A client of mine 3 weeks ago called me and said she did work with one of the major houses. Mm-hmm. She bought 1,000 books. She had to put down a lot of money, at least 6 figures. And there was a flood in her garage. All the books are ruined.
Wow.
And I'm like, girl, why didn't you call me first? There are different ways to do it. Mm-hmm. So in 2015, we did an experiment. Mm-hmm. And I created this really tiny niche. I wrote 2 books that year, Moira, with all the understanding. Mm-hmm. It was like this was going to make it or break it.
Yeah.
And both books hit #1 in the same year.
Wow.
My annual income became my monthly income.
Wow.
Well, how would that change your life?
How would that change your life?
If your annual income became your monthly income.
Yeah.
And what if I told you it wasn't from the sale of books?
Yeah. It's never from the sale of books.
What if I told you that those books catapulted me into positioning me as an expert, as a thought leader, as an authority? People wanted me on their panels. People wanted me to speak. I was in France, Dubai, South Africa, I don't even remember the places. I had to bring in people to look after my kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm making a difference.
Yes.
Right? Getting speaking. People were saying, can you coach me? I didn't have any programs to sell people. But I had a big waiting list of people saying, can you help us get this transformation? And that's the magic and the power of positioning.
Ooh, that is the magic and power of positioning.
Yeah.
I love it because because I've been through book programs and I've written several books and I'm about to publish some more. And you get told that your book will brand you as an expert. People will take you more seriously because you've put in writing what you believe and what your message is. But we don't on these programs get told about how to position ourselves in the market. That is something that is
very
lacking.
different.
And also the promotion, the distribution channels that you would get if you were with a big major publishing house versus if you were self-publishing.
Yeah.
So those were also some of the issues.
Very big difference. Yeah. Very big difference. And have you ever been to a dinner, Moira, where you had to pay $50 a dinner or $100 for a dinner plate? It was a fundraiser.
Yeah.
What was the perception for you when they said, published author Fatima Omar, best-selling author Fatima Omar? What's your perception?
Yeah, obviously the one who's best-selling says, well, there's other people who are interested in this book, so it must have value.
Yeah. So ask yourself, audience, like if you're watching, what's the perception? And even though I don't like labels, we live in a world where labels matter between there is a very different, it's like the horse that wins the first.
It's that red world we're in that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That makes part of the Magenta. Yeah.
And what I love about the book is you don't have to stand up and raise your hand and say, I'm the queen of sales, I'm the expert, choose me. There's no ego here. The book allows you to be an advocate for your niche. It says, I can change your world. I can solve your problem.
Yeah.
That's all you're saying. Yeah. And the book is the rah-rah, the cheerleader, without you having to say, I actually don't feel like, I feel like a fake. Because we all have that inside of us. Are we the one? And the book becomes the green light for you to say, you don't have to rah-rah. Yeah. You just have to be like, here's my book. I can solve a problem that you're having.
Yeah, it sells for you, and it's that introduction, that soft introduction that people can, and also by reading your books, people actually do read the books. I know my book's been read. I'm very fortunate. I get lots of feedback, and people build a relationship with you. They understand that you understand something, and they want a bit more of you. So the book is that introduction to we can do more for you.
It is. It is. The book is also the gateway.
It is a gateway. So the whole idea of getting an Amazon bestseller, because in your book here, Million Stars, Changing Lives, Finding Freedom and Building Personal Power, lovely, clear book, by the way. You have got the Amazon, but it's kind of not a big thing in the book. It just kind of sits there gently in the corner, and it says their bestseller, Amazon, right? Now, why do we want this? Why do we seek this out besides the prestige and being taken more seriously? Why in the technical aspects of how Amazon works is this important?
Well, it's not important. It is like an accessory. Right? Everybody wants their lovely earrings.
Oh,
and their necklace.
I love it. I love it.
That's all it is.
I'd look very dull. Look at your beautiful necklace.
Exactly.
We'd look very dull if we didn't have accessories.
It's an accessory.
Love it.
It just says that we were able to systematically, ethically, and morally get up to the Amazon bestseller. Yeah. And with 1,900 books being uploaded daily.
Wow, hold on. 1,900 books uploaded daily onto Amazon.
Yeah.
So
self-published.
How do you stand out?
So how
do
the Moiras and Michaels and Fatimas and Catherines are able to go up to the top?
Yeah.
Well, we have the secret sauce.
Yeah.
We have the secret sauce. And I'm here to say, we'll help you. Yeah. We'll help you get to the top, because do you want to take that effort, write the entire book, edit it, proofread it, format it, upload it, make a beautiful graphic, and nobody knows about it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For myself, when I wrote this book, it was about my legacy. I'm going to expire this meat suit, Moira.
Yeah.
And before I expire the meat suit, there are going to be women out there, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Pakistan, in the outskirts of Australia and South Africa, that might not have the funds and the means to invest in my high price coaching.
Yeah.
So I asked myself, as long as Amazon is around, what if I took all my knowledge about creating a very successful business from welfare to leadership, put it in a book. And if you follow the steps in this book systematically, you can create a successful coaching business. That's what I did.
Wowza.
It's a short read, but it's potent.
Yeah. It's
Right?
fun. It has a nice energy to it when I hold it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to maybe share with our audience now what the prize.
Really?
How do they get that?
Are you excited? Are you excited? Do you want to know what the prize is?
$2,500 worth of coaching, and very personal coaching as well. How does our audience enter this competition to win this? Because it's a competition, it's a prize you're going to win. So I'm going to hand you over and you explain it to the audience.
So the first thing you have to do is go to this link. It's mentorwithfatima.com. Okay, so it's gonna come up here, and all you got to do is go to that link, and there's a short little contest form. Now we've got some special prize. So the first prize is, oh my God, so exciting. My team and I put this thing together, and I'm going to actually show you my beautiful cards right here. This is the Sacred Brand Archetype cards. And so the lucky winner, and I'm going to put them down here so you get to see how gorgeous they are. The lucky winner is going to win an assessment with me, so I can help you through these cards to show you, number one, what is your main Sacred Brand archetype? And number two, what is the underlying driver archetype? And you get to recreate and reinvent your business, your branding, your colors, so it authentically feels like it's your soul calling. Okay? These are so absolutely gorgeous. I'm also going to send the winner a copy of the entire Sacred Brand Archetype envelope, so you get to see who you are and who the people around you are. Now I'm going to tell you who I am, so you kind of know. These are so beautiful. The ruler, the maverick, the jester.
You're the alchemist, you told me earlier.
I am. That's my main archetype.
Yeah.
I am the alchemist. I transform dust into gold. Okay? And my underlying driver is the romantic. I mean, come on, I love beautiful things and pretty things and passion and all of that. So you can see how many different variations there can be.
Yeah.
And what your colors are, what the words that you get to use, and also who else is sharing some of these sacred brand archetypes with you, so you know what's happening in the world right now.
I'm sorry, I've got to tell you, at the back here it says examples of alchemist brands. So this is your type of branding. If you're an alchemist, the kind of brands that are out there that you are in that same frequency vibration
Yes.
with, MasterCard, Harry Potter.
Yep, that's me.
Xbox, I love it.
I know.
I love it. And then if you, and the romantic brands, and again, that feel good, Godiva chocolate.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Victoria's
Oh
Secret,
gosh, give me more.
Dior, and Sophia Loren. I mean, this is really, you've got a lot of keywords at the back here as well that would help. I love this, absolutely love this. And again, I can't tell you how we appreciate your generosity that you're going to do this
Thank
for somebody.
you.
So one very, 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 very lucky audience viewer today, if you follow the link that Michael has put on screen for you, you will be taken to a form that you're going to be asked a few questions.
Yes.
And you're going to go into a draw and to win a session and get yourself a new brand. Get yourself reinvented, refreshed. Hit the refresh button. I think it's going to be very, very important.
I love it. I love it. And then we added, let's put this away so we all look like really neat here. And then we added 10 more prizes. So there'll be one grand prize, and then 10 people will get a copy of this book, Million Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, changing lives, finding freedom, and building personal power. So go to Mentor with Fatima, the link that Michael put up, and fill it out. We'll do the draw in about, say, a week's time. Mm-hmm. The whole team will put all the names together, so that way lots of people will have an opportunity to go in, and we'll send you this book.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So you have an opportunity to win. Thank you again so much. 10 books, and you have an opportunity for the grand prize, $2,500 worth of mentoring. And I've had a look at these cards. I've had a look at your book. It's an incredible gift. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And you're gonna feel this energy and vibration that comes off Fatima, because oh my goodness, she's just this incredible hot very dynamic, very ambitious young woman.
Thank you.
I love it. I love hearing a success story
Me
as well,
too.
because so often we're in the entrepreneurial world, we're flailing and we're trying to find feet, and I've interviewed so many entrepreneurs who are so passionate about what they do, and they've also had their deep dark nights of the soul stories, but they miss that key ingredient to take them to that next level for success, that visibility factor.
Yep.
And I think I do believe that the Amazon bestseller
Will
badge,
give you visibility.
that accessory, as you called it, is going to elevate the message.
There
to
is
the next
another
level.
thing with the visibility. It gives you something else that a lot of people don't have, and that's credibility.
Yes.
So right now we're doing a book. Okay, we're doing a co-author book, because some people are not ready to write their entire book.
Yes.
So if you're thinking to yourself, I have a book, I want to write a book, but I don't know how to write the whole thing. Maybe I don't have time. Maybe I have kids. I have 5. I got it. And so we're doing a book called Healing.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And the healing book is specifically for healers. And it could be a hypnotist, NLP, color therapy, horse therapy, people who do mindset therapy, acupuncturist, massage. We've got an entire list of everything. So here's a link. It's called healingbookbestseller.com. And all you have to do is write 7 to 10 pages. And that's not difficult.
No.
And with my templates and our training, it's going to be so simple. But let's take it a step further. Why would you want to be a co-author in a bestseller book called Healing? And I'm going to tell you right now. There are 10 people in the book. The other 9 people are your sales team, Moira. That's all it is. Because the book sells you. So if I'm in the book, every single time I share the book, sell the book, give it away, who else's story are they reading?
Yeah.
They're reading yours.
Yeah.
And the chapter is all about selling you. So for example, let's say you are a Qigong master. You talk about how it helped you,
Yes.
and then how you help others.
Yes.
A couple of testimonials. Readers love stories.
Yes.
And then your bio has your links. If you want your phone number, your email address, your lead magnet, everything about how they find you. And that's it.
This is something that's really happening a lot in the entrepreneurial community in Canada, where they are writing collaborative books where they have a theme and they bring experts in and they all become part of a book that then, as you say, everyone's marketing one another. But I think what a lot of them have that is missing is that process that you bring in through the Amazon, understanding the algorithms and being able to just give it that little accessory.
Yeah.
I think
To have you know, once you are a bestseller, nobody can take away that title from you. And then once the book hits bestseller, we do a press release. Now, what would it look like for you and you, Moira, to say seen on ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS?
Yeah.
Again, visibility, credibility, authority.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so that's what the book will give you.
Yeah.
Now, here's a really cool thing about what we do. We guarantee your book will be in the top 10 or you get your money back.
Well, there you go.
That's how confident we are.
But you do get those results, so you're very
We do.
good. You really are an expert with that. So I think if you have, I want to just for a minute, the audience that have written their books, and if you're watching the replay of this, we would have posted this particular episode in groups that you're in, because we're trying to answer that niggling question that I get so often when I'm out and about at networking events is, written the book, it's not selling, it's not leading to speaking gigs, it's not giving me the visibility, my message isn't going out. There's something crucially missing. You want to be watching this episode and you want to be connecting with Fatima, because I think she has the missing link. She definitely has that bridging, also this magenta
The bridge.
energy. That
I love
bridging.
this.
You also
It's just,
bridge.
and it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
I'll show you what's possible.
Yeah.
and you get to see something that may have been in your blind spot.
Yeah, completely. And I want to just share here personally. That's exactly what's happened with me. I'm writing a new deck of cards, and of course, cards and 44 cards in a booklet. You can't put that as an online ebook. But then you gave me advice, and I'm following it, and I'm starting to work with you, because it doesn't mean that the product that I have is not an ebook potential product to sell and become an Amazon, but related book to it, a workbook to it, could make it happen. So your advice already has just given, and I started writing it, it's just given me incredible inspiration. So I highly recommend, if you've got a book or you want to get that #1 bestseller status, the accessory as we're calling it, you want to be connecting with Fatima. Okay.
Awesome.
So we have a few minutes left, so please remember, if you haven't yet picked 1, 2 or 3, you want to be picking your color. We're going to give you,
I want to know.
and put them in.
Alana!
Put them in. We want to know. We want to see what your pick is for the week. So I'd like to offer you a color reading now, using the wonderful system that's created by Melissa Jolly.
I'm so excited.
From South Africa. All these little bottles are made in South Africa by Melissa. How amazing is that? So do you have a question for me? Is there something you'd like to ask?
Yeah. I'm looking at the next 5 years, and I've got this little fire growing inside of me. You know, who do I step into?
Okay.
That woman is emerging.
Okay.
And so that's the space I'm in right now.
Okay, so I'm actually going to then ask you to pick me 2 bottles. Can you pick me one that says this is who you are right now? And then I want you to feel for the one that feels like this persona, this energy you're going to be stepping into for the next 5 years. So it's 2 bottles. Who you are right now. So it's like a present and a future bottle. Is that all right? Yes. You're welcome to just look at the whole wall of bottles, Fatima, and then just bring it here to the light box for me.
Okay, this is who I am now.
Bottle number 30, turquoise, excellent. And for our podcast listeners, she's picked a bottle that's a solid turquoise color.
Okay,
and
this is who I'm stepping into.
G13.
Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm nervous and excited at the same time.
Okay. Right, and my darlings, for those of you who worked on a workshop with me last week and who have signed on to the Sacred Women events that we are running the next couple of weeks, the 2-hour events, you are going to want to listen to this. So 30 is all about creating book programs. It's about everything that you have been doing. It is that artistic writing, technology, the Amazon. It's absolutely exactly where you've been and what you've been doing, because turquoise is the writer, it's the artist, it's the creator. Chakra. It sits between the throat and the heart, because turquoise is a mixture of blue of the throat and green of the heart. So it's about that, you know, you've been expressing what's been in your heart, you've been verbalizing it, communicating it, writing it, printing it. So it's so exactly the industry that you've been in for so long. All right.
Amazing.
And turquoise is also saying trust and flow, and you know, I will help you. And I love that you give money back if you can't deliver the project. Yep. I mean, that is just that whole energy of turquoise. Okay, happy with that?
Yes! We picked the right one. Now this one.
Look at the pink you're wearing. The pink and gold. You've even got little gold studs and the gold jewelry. I mean, it's just amazing. All right. So, you know what? Let me just pull this out, because Melissa Jolly's words on the system is just incredible. I must say to you that she has a piece of writing for each one of her bottles when they were first made. All right. So G13 is called Grace. I actually want you to look at the words.
Okay, I'm putting on my glasses here. Okay.
Pale gold over pale pink. This delicate color combination is there to remind us again that only love exists, and that everything we have experienced was chosen by us as an expression of divine love.
Okay, I think I'm going to cry.
I've got tissues going in there.
Oh my gosh.
Here we step into grace and forgive ourselves. We were never guilty. We were divine expressions experiencing, and nothing was ever not part of the plan. Yep. These colors indicate a rebirth, but this time without the trauma of death. Wow. It's not that deep dark night that you had when you had those thoughts. We gently rebirth into our true selves and remember that the divine is love, and that we are that too. And the true power that creates everything is love, love, love. This is the female face of divinity, and it is beautiful, and so are you. While using this bottle, it will serve you to take time every day to remember something fabulous about you. And if you write it down, you'll just make it that much more real. Take time to honor your female, creative, intuitive vision.
Girl!
Isn't it beautiful?
So beautiful. You know, this is actually the timing of this. I mean, this is the beginning of season 7 for the Magenta show. It's also, we're just days away from the month of Ramadan.
Yes.
And Ramadan is like worship goals for the next 5 years, limiting beliefs, and that whole sacred space of, it's not just about starving without food and water for 18 hours here in Canada, but to be able to really nourish our connection to the divine. And I'm just so moved.
Yeah.
I'm so moved and touched.
Yeah. I've got a Sacred Women's event coming up, just a 2-hour event where I'm bringing some of our colour family and friends together. We're going to be contemplating sacred women. We're going to be contemplating women who have been divine leaders. Now in the Christian church, that would be Mother Mary, who's adored in
loved.
in Buddhist and Chinese. We are looking at Kuan Yin, for example. And this particular bottle relates to Mary Magdalene, who is also part of the Christian history and faith.
Yeah.
And if we look at her symbolically, it's your journey. She stood alongside her male. She had as much power, but because at that time men were the ones who were elevated and women were suppressed. And she couldn't do the female emancipacation of the can't speak now at that time because there wasn't a feminist movement.
I know.
And religion was very male dominated. And we now, 2,000 years down the line, we can bring the Mary Magdalenes in all of us out and say, but we too are divine. We too are spiritual leaders. We too can make a difference. So, and 13 is the leader of the pack. So you had in the Christian tradition, and it's so wonderful to be able to talk to somebody of Muslim faith and who understands, because we had this conversation upstairs, didn't we? Because if you look at the story of Jesus as a spiritual leader and his 12 apostles, he was the 13th member. And in a lot of cultures, 13 is supposed to be an unlucky number, but it really isn't.
It isn't.
No. And what we have here is you're stepping up as a leader. You're stepping up as a feminist movement, as something that where you bring that divine, that gold power that you have with the pink love that you have, and actually start leading groups. And to me, this always feels like it has an international flavor to it as well.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be who you're going to evolve into. And I think this has just been your platform.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can either quietly let it just tick off in the background and get somebody to run that business for you, or you can actually sell it off and make it something else. But really what you've got to be stepping into here is leadership, creating groups where women can come together and feel, and feel the power and lead them to claim their power, an authentic power, spiritual power, a divine power. Yeah. And imagine if what the religious history would look like if Mary Magdalene was allowed to have her book published. What would she have told us? So
it would be transformative.
And the whole thing that I like about this, Fatima, is, you know, the energy of the Mary Magdalene energy, the G13 divine feminine energy. She didn't go and claim retribution. She didn't go and fight the men and talk them down. It was about highlighting what highlights in what is inside of us that needs to be highlighted.
It's just a pure thing.
So it's a feminist movement without saying men should be punished or men were bad or we were suppressed.
I actually had a couple of offers like that. People said I could stand and be their spokesperson for corporations, but I had to dumb down the male species.
No,
and I said, aren't we partners?
Yes.
And I said, and I'm raising 4 boys.
Yes.
They're part of my life.
Wow.
They're the future, right? They're going to stand up as teams and advocate for the women in their lives.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So you get this energy. You get what this is about.
I love it.
So does this tie in with your vision or your
It does.
feeling, what you're stepping into?
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just resonates with me to the core.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing with color, it can dip into the future and can feel your future energy and show you what it looks like. The steps of the how, when, and where, and who it gets there, that's God's problem. Isn't that nice to know?
Yeah. You never go to God and tell him your problems. Go tell your problems how big God is, because God's in our corner.
Yeah.
And it's a trust.
Yeah.
It's a trust, like a surrender. We're just climbing the escalator.
Yeah.
Being on another level and being that servant leader to be able to bring those colors together. And I am all about giving a hand up.
Yes.
Because I know where I came from. I look at my welfare stubs every day, Moira, and say, there's a woman out there
who's doing that right now.
Yeah. And I get to be the light.
Yes.
I get to be the light.
Well, you're going to take your leadership just that little bit more seriously.
I am. I am, guys. Yeah. Hey, Elena, look what I got. There was one more thing I wanted to give to these beautiful audience. And I have a free training.
Oh, wow.
There's a free training online that I created especially for you. And as a coach, as a consultant, I looked at all the mistakes I made and how many times I fell down and how I had to fall in love with failing. And I put together a free training on the 10 biggest mistakes coaches make that keep you stuck, struggling, and invisible. And it doesn't have anything to do with publishing a book.
Okay. Well, what's the top one? What is the main one that you know?
I can tell you right now, it is learning without earning.
Ooh.
You keep going and learning and getting into more courses, but you don't translate that into making money.
Only looking at you right now, you know who you are.
Right? Analysis of paralysis.
Analysis of paralysis. I love it. All right. So, there's 10 of them. The link, please.
There's 10 of those. The link is millionstarsmasterclass.com. Okay? Michael's got that all sorted out there. And after I go through the 10 mistakes, I show you the 7 strategies that you can implement right away, which means you don't have to access a course, you don't have to sign up for anything, you can just go take the training and implement it right away. It's just a gift for everyone.
I really want you guys to give so many pink hearts to thank Fatima. She's been the most generous, honestly, the most generous guest we've ever had on the show. You are incredible. Your pink, your love, your giving, your generosity, your power is just palatable. It's amazing. She's so please now, guys, you've got to go to the links that we've put in the show so you can get into the draw to win the $2,500 consulting session with you, as well as you will be, for those of you who don't win it, there are 10 consolation prizes, and that is her best-selling book. And yes, and please go to the link that Michael's put up for you so that you can access some free training. You've just been incredibly generous. You are hello. I mean, you already embody this grace and Mary Magdalene and female divine power leadership that's in your G13 bottle. It's amazing. Moira. I really appreciate it. So we need to go to our audience and just give them a little color reading as well. So for those of you, and honestly, if you think this is the only time you tune in to get your color reading, you want to go back to the beginning of this episode, because what has come out of this particular opener, season 7 opener, has been incredibly powerful, and especially if you've written a book and you're not making money. Now, if you've picked number 1, number 2, or number 3, you're about to hear what you have picked. So for those of you who've picked number 1, you have picked our lovely guest Fatima's one, and she intuitively went to this one, right?
Yes.
What drew you to this one?
The colors just remind me of Cuba, and I was thinking about my toes in the sand. It was so fun.
I love it. Okay. So for those of you who picked number 1, you've picked bottle number 28 in the color mirror system. It's yellow on top and this lovely pale turquoise, which is like your bottle 30, isn't it? This is called New Beginnings.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yes. So what we spoke about coming up for you for the next 5 years, you're looking for that new beginning, that new you to emerge. So for those of you who picked number 1, you are on the same page here as our lovely guest Fatima. You are in for a new beginning. So this is a week to look out for whatever breadcrumbs are being left in front of you. Please, when you see them, say yes and turn up, because this is going to lead you to a new beginning. And
put your seatbelts on. It's gonna be fun.
Do you like numerology, the meaning of numbers as well?
I love it. Look at abundance.
Because 2 plus 8 makes 10, and 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. It says whatever you're going to say yes to this week is going to lead to your Wheel of Fortune turning.
And I'm a 1.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, you would be a 1, that powerhouse. Okay, so those of you who picked number 2, you have picked my pick of the week, and it was a bottle when I walked into, and I saw the Waller bottle this morning, couldn't take my eyes off it, and I haven't picked it in a very, very long time.
I was looking at it too.
You were? The 8 black?
Yeah.
G8.
When Moira picked it, I was like, oh my God, that's so attractive to me.
Yeah. And it's actually called Illumination for all its darkness. It's actually deep magenta. You can, if you really have a look at it, it's not quite black.
Yeah.
It's really, really deep dark magenta.
Like garnet.
It is like a garnet, you're right. So 8 again, abundance, and it's called Illumination. And it says here that if things seem a little cloudy, so for those who pick number 2, things seem a little cloudy and dense, like you can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel, and your finances are feeling a bit rocky, and things aren't feeling that a whole abundance flow, you don't feel the joy, the love, the money, because there's 3 things that make abundance: love, joy, and money. That turns the wheel of fortune. This is a week where I want to tell you to take time off from worrying. It is literally a get out of jail free card for you if you've got number 2s. It's just surrender into this period of just whatever feels dark and heavy and dense and there's no clarity for you. Surrender into it, because you know the darkness and this blackness comes in because it says it's time to have a snooze. It's time to relax, it's time to let go control, because there is a plan in place but you can't see it yet. So if you don't know what the plan is, why are you stressing? Let go and allow the universe, the divine, the God, whatever your belief system is, to come in and take you forward. So for those of you number 2, I hope that is useful information. Talk about deep dark night of the soul earlier.
I love it.
So for those of you who picked number 3, you have picked Michael, our producer's pick.
Move this.
And it kind of was a collaboration. I can't honestly say Michael picked it himself. We're very authentic on the show. We say how it is. We kind of collaborated on picking this one. And this is actually not a bottle. It's called the Wealth bottle. It's not a bottle that's actually in the system, Fatima. It is gold on top and it's violet at the bottom.
Amazing.
And this is a bottle that Melissa specifically made. And what we did on the 21st of March, when it was the spring equinox for us here in Canada anyway, we had hundreds of people all over the world on that day bathe in that bottle, with the intention to alleviate poverty in the consciousness of humanity, to bring in that sense of wealth and abundance and unlimited wealth, because it's called unlimited wealth. And unlimited wealth could be whatever it means for anybody. It could be just peace, more peace in your life, more love, more money, more, being more generous, whatever anybody wanted. And I have spoken to a few people who've actually bathed in this bottle, and things have begun to shift for them. Things are beginning to turn, and it's just amazing that we've done this collective experience. So for those who picked number 3, we want you to look into what is an unlimited wealth experience for you. What do you want more of in your life? An unlimited supply of.
I love it.
And whatever it is,
touch the energy.
Pray about it, intend it, visualize it, and again watch for the breadcrumb trail to arrive to lead you towards it. Oh,
declare it.
Declare it.
Just
I love
declare it.
Yeah.
Right now, right here. And I'll share with you what my unlimited wealth is.
What is it?
And I really just got it last week when my kids were like, they need this, they need this. They told me stuff that was not in my schedule.
Yeah.
And as I was driving along and I was happy and we were singing, I realized unlimited wealth is time freedom for me. And I have it.
Freedom.
That I could just cancel my day, no worries, drive my kids around. I'm thinking that for me is ultimate wealth.
And freedom.
Freedom to go where I want, shop, make spring rolls, eat, cook, and the business is going. I've got a beautiful team. My kids are so settled and thriving. And so that for me was that epiphany.
Wow. I wonder if that is, those of you who picked number 3, if that is a unlimited wealth vision for you.
Yeah.
Freedom, time, do what you want. I love it. Absolutely love it. I like how this has all come together here, that we have this rebirth, this new beginning, and a rebirthing into unlimited wealth.
I love it.
You know, that freedom that you're looking for. I think it's an amazing, and it's going to be an amazing week for all of us. So I want to say thank you so much, my darling, for coming on the show. Your generosity has just moved me. I'm a little gobsmacked, actually, because we've never had a guest be this generous on the show. If you're only tuning in now, catching the end of it, you're going to want to go to the beginning, because the gifts that you've given our audience and the inspiration, not just what you're physically going to be giving them, but your presence, your energy here has been phenomenal. And I want to thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And
it's been an honor.
We're going to be working together.
Yeah, such an honor. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And thank you, angels. And we will see you on next week's show. Thank you.